In a town of cold and rain, he learned to stand apart. A quiet pair of hands that learned a quieter art. He walked the corridors where shadows kept their breath, measured out the moments that belonged to life and death. He wore the weight of duty like a coat against the cold. A ledger full of names, a story left untold. No trumpet for the calling, no glory in the task, just a steady, steady rhythm of the questions people ask. He moved through his duties like a man already claimed by him, the swiftest hand in a trade that devoured every soul it touched. The last sentinel of a dying ritual, bound to shadows no light could cleanse. A breath in the doorway, carrying the cold echo of every life he ended. A figure stitched from grief, precision and the silence no one dared break. He held the hour steady while his own spirit then to a whisper kept the ledger flawless, even as each name carved another wound inside him. He bore the weight of strangers' final breaths until it crushed the shape of who he once was. He was the fastest, he was the finest, he was the last. There were nights when thunder rattled through the county jail, when family sat in silence and the law had told his tale. He learned to meet the morning with the face that would not show, the tremor of a conscience that the world would never know. He spoke in measured syllables, he moved with measured care. A man who did a job that left him stripped and bare. He saw the faces passing like the seasons through a glass, a catalog of sorrow, a ledger of the past. He moved through his duties like a man already claimed by him, the swiftest hand in the trade that devoured every soul it touched. The last sentinel of a dying ritual, bound to shadows no light could cleanse. A breath in the doorway, carrying the cold echo of every life he ended. A figure stitched from grief, precision and the silence no one dared break. He held the hour steady while his own spirit then to a whisper kept the ledger flawless, even as each name carved another wound inside him. He bore the weight of strangers' final breaths until it crushed the shape of who he once was. He was the fastest, he was the finest, he was the last. There's a hush that follows duty, a hush that never sleeps. It settles in the corners where the memory still keeps. Not triumph, not redemption, not a medal on a chest, just the quiet of a man who tried to do his best. And when the world moved on and laws were rearranged, he found himself a relic in a history as strange. He walked away from gallows, from the scaffold and the rope, left behind the ledger, left behind the hope. In the papers they would write the numbers and the dates. They would speak of justice served and of the heavy weights, but numbers do not tell you how a man will bear the night, how he counts the empty chairs and how he prays for light. He kept his hands unshaken, he kept his eyes on time. He never sought the headlines, never chased the rhyme. A craftsman of an ending in a world that could not last. He learned to be a stranger to the future and the past. He moved through his duties like a man already claimed by him, the swiftest hand in the trade that devoured every soul it touched. The last sentinel of a dying ritual, bound to shadows no light could cleanse. A breath in the doorway, carrying the cold echo of every life he ended. A figure stitched from grief, precision and the silence no one dared break. He held the hour steady while his own spirit then to a whisper kept the ledger flawless, even as each name carved another wound inside him. He bore the weight of strangers' final breaths until it crushed the shape of who he once was. He was the fastest, he was the finest, he was the last. There were faces from the war years, names that shook the land, men who'd answered orders, men who'd taken a stand. He met them in the morning with the same unflinching hand, a man between the statutes and the law's unyielding plan. He never sang of vengeance, he never sang of pride. He only did the duty that the system had supplied. And when the curtain folded on the old and bitter past, he stood alone and silent, the fastest and the last. He moved through his duties like a man already claimed by them, the swiftest hand in the trade that devoured every soul it touched. The last sentinel of a dying ritual, bound to shadows no light could cleanse. A breath in the doorway, carrying the cold echo of every life he ended. A figure stitched from grief, precision and the silence no one dared break. He held the hour steady while his own